Addictions, addictions, addictions. We all have them. Some of us are addicted to Netflix. Others are addicted to reading. And some of us are addicted to just plain old being negative. No matter the addiction, ask yourself this question. How does it affect your life? Does it affect it in a good way or a bad way? Maybe it doesn't even affect it in any way. Just know this, people. Whatever the addiction is, you have to always remember to be strong enough to either handle your on-off switch or quit altogether. If the doc says no more bacon, there should be no more bacon. If your liver says no more alcohol, you should probably listen. Addictions don't always have to be bad. Your behavior makes them that way. So please be mindful of the habits you create for yourselves, because those very habits can be what ultimately helps you quit on yourself.
First Cup KC, unique, hustle hard music, yeah. First Cup KC, start your day off with a cup of Joe and positive convo. First Cup KC, shine a light on the ones that work hard from Kansas to the Mo. First Cup KC, motivate, educate, inspire the youth to be great. First Cup KC, believe in yourself is the key to make a change. It's never too late. First Cup KC. This broadcast is a No Solutions podcast production. Yeah.
Today on the show, I have a father, a fiance, a hard worker, and a man who has found a way to say no to the crippling effects of alcoholism. He's been sober for coming up on 6 years now, and he's managed to completely turn his life around. Please welcome my son-in-law, James Christmas, to the show. What's up, son?
What's up, Pops?
So this is the second time we did this, but we're gonna get it. We're gonna get this one right this time. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Gonna get this one done and under the belt.
Yes, sir.
I done had your mom,
A woman,
your woman,
everybody.
Yeah,
Finally,
so-
it's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn. You next up. But This is a good subject today, because
It is.
today we're gonna talk about a deep subject. And I just want to say before we even start, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I really am. I really am. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, take a moment to tell the listeners a little bit about who James Christmas is.
Obviously, as he said, I'm James Christmas. I'm a father of two. I have a daughter named Peyton, a son named James, and a fiance named Caitlin. I have two sisters. I am a full-time electrician for Luminous Technologies.
Technology.
Yes, sir. That's really it. I'm just a dad. You know, I go to work and I come home and take care of the family.
What do you like to do?
Anything outdoors. I love fishing. Never been hunting, want to go hunting, but anything basically outdoors. Doesn't matter if it's just pulling a blanket out on the ground and looking at the stars.
Well, I know you like fishing.
Oh, yeah.
We like fishing.
Yeah.
We be doing some fishing.
Yes, we do.
Yes. Out on Perry Lake. So we can get right on into this, man. Tell the audience how long you've been sober.
I have been sober. December 17th will be 6 years. 6
long
years
time.
of
6 years.
day to day.
Day to day doing it.
Yep.
Day to day doing it.
Yep.
Alcoholism. Today, that's what we're talking about. It ran deep in my family.
Yep.
A lot of my family members on my dad's side have definitely, had their run at the addiction of being, alcoholics. I got a lot of them, on my mom's side as well. My dad, he was an alcoholic, pretty bad. I know your dad was an alcoholic, and I know you're gonna talk a little bit about that.
Yep.
Because I know a lot of people say we pick this. We have a tendency to pick the trait up from our parents. A lot of the things that we do. So, do you want to talk a little bit about what happened in that situation with your father?
I mean, he was really always a drinker, but to me, he was more of a closet drinker. Mm-hmm. I would never really see him drink around me, but I would find it, just going to the bathroom, getting a roll of toilet paper, maybe a case of beer under the sink type stuff. It wasn't like my dad was sitting on his lazy boy just getting smashed in front of us kids. It was never like that, but he definitely had a problem drinking. He was in and out of my life.
Because of the drinking.
Yep, obviously because of the drinking. My mom being that support, strong, structured woman was like, look, I'm not about to have my kids raised around something like that. Either you can kick the bottle to the curb or, you know, I got to do what's best for my children. And always
that ultimatum.
Yeah, I always respect mom for that, you know.
Yeah. So I remember hearing that they broke up, and he went through a period.
He did.
Where he
did.
Was doing it.
Yep,
and
he
was
went
kicking
to
it.
outpatient rehab and spent a little bit of time in a rehab and got his life. Yep, got his life back on. I'd say it's probably about a year and a half, 2 years. And then he met some woman on email. Back then it was like Gmail or Yahoo email type thing. But yeah, he met her and invited her to his house and explained to her like, hey, look, you know, I'm a recovering alcoholic and I'm one of them alcoholics that like if I have one drink, it's just a vicious cycle. I'll be back to square one. And this woman had the audacity to show up with a bottle of vodka. And that's where he spiraled back downhill again and was out of our life again and came back into my life, I'd say about 12-ish, almost 13, and passed away that same year. Man. Due to alcohol.
That's just, it happens, man.
It does.
A lot of people don't understand. A lot of good people are behind alcohol. Yeah. A lot of good people. And we get weak. And we can't just take every addiction, you know, with a grain of salt. Some of us, we let it take us. And it happens, man. But then you grew up even knowing that and seeing that. And you, even, 4 or 5 years later, not even 4 years later, you would find yourself pretty much spiraling down the same road.
Yep.
And I remember I was there. I seen some of the stuff, but you wanna talk about some of that reckless stuff? Because I
don't know. It was like I always said, alcohol was my liquid courage. You know, it brought out somebody that I wasn't. You know, if anybody knows me, and everybody listening to this that knows me knows I'm a very respectful person. And when I got under the influence, it was like almost like a light switch. How you turn it on to turn the lights off, turn it off to turn the lights off.
Yeah.
That's how it was with alcohol. You turn that light switch on and it could be somebody
totally
I
different person.
love with my heart. And, you know, I'd start talking reckless, start doing just reckless stuff. You know,
I remember one time you told me you were driving down the street and you looked over your shoulder, you thought the cops was after you, and
I heard the sirens.
Like bing, 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 just pinging off cars.
Say guilty conscience.
Yeah.
And, you know, I already knew that I was under the influence driving behind the wheel, so I heard cop sirens, and the first thing that popped into my mind is they were after me, so took off.
Gunned.
And they really wasn't even after me.
Yeah, so it's the paranoia, man.
It is.
Drinking, you're not really in your right mind.
Right.
But man, alcoholism it takes a hold of you. And it's a lot of people are even scared to admit that they even have the problem.
Right.
Some people think, oh man, I can put it down anytime I want. But the fact is, if you really believe that, you know, challenge yourself.
Right.
Take a month off and see how you do.
Exactly.
You know, and if you can take a month off and then go back to the drinking, you might, you might do have a control,
right.
You know, but if you can't, and you 2 or 3 days after you say, "Oh, I got this," you're sneaking the alcohol and trying to powder your breath.
Yeah,
and man, maybe you do have a habit. A lot of people don't know. Now, the first incident in your life was a crushing incident because you became a father.
I did.
And I remember when you became the father, you were stuck to your baby, but you were also stuck to the bottle.
Was.
And it's hard juggling the taste of the alcohol, you know, with the embrace of the kid.
Right.
I remember hearing a couple of incidences where you and the baby mom were into it back and forth. But at the same time, I also remember hearing incidences where, you know, she knew you had the problem, but she would use that problem whenever she needed to gain some sort of advantage.
Yep.
And you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So like you were saying, with my ex, it all started just every once in a while. Hanging out with the buddies on the weekend, hanging out with my ex now, to being in a committed relationship, to being like, hey, look, you got a problem. You should probably stop. Yeah, I do got a problem. I should probably stop. Well, hey, let's go move my friends. My friends need help moving. I don't really feel like doing it. Well, if you do, I'll get a 6-pack. Oh, okay. Sounds
She
good.
was using it.
Exactly. It was always, to me, it was a crutch. She used it as a crutch. Like, this is how I'm going to get him to do something he don't want to do. Which, again, by all means, that's weak on my part, too.
Yeah.
Because if I don't want to do something, I ultimately have this decision not to do it. So, I mean, it can go both ways, but it didn't help that I had an enabler.
Yeah.
I had somebody
You
there.
have that support system there that's
Exactly.
saying, you need to stop,
Yep.
and I'm going to help you by backing up every time
Exactly.
I'm not just about to throw it in your face and use it as that. And you have to be wary of the people that you are around, because if you really need the help and someone really wants to help you, they're going to stay in your face about it until you help yourself. And that's why I wanted to talk to you about that. But it came a point where you guys split.
Yep.
And when you split, you lost the access to your daughter.
I did.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So I got home from work one day, walked down the hallway, excited, obviously. It was my life, my dog, my woman, my child. Walk into the front door, everything was gone. Bed, everything. The woman left me with a pillow and a blanket. That was it. Dog was laying on the living room floor. I'm like, oh no, what's going on? We were fine last night. What happened? What switched up? There was a note on the counter that basically said, things ain't been the way I wanted them to be for a while. So this was my way of letting you know, if you ever want to see your daughter again, I'll see you in court. And at that time, I was young. There's no excuses. But I wasn't in the mind state of an adult. I wasn't in the mind state of a father. I was more or less in the mind state of, this is my exit to my pain. So what should have helped me gain my life back, get it back right, get it back on that path, it set me back. Because now I just got to the bottle
Just
deeper.
made you weak.
It was hard.
Yeah.
I'd go to work, I'd come home, walking into that apartment that I had so many memories, my daughter, my dog, everything that we established as a couple, it's gone. It's just me now. The burden of, I chose the bottle over my family. I chose the bottle over my child. You see what I'm trying to say? So instead of it being the light that should have been like, you know what? I don't need this stuff. I'm not going to let this happen again. I just started hitting it harder. Because at that time, it was like the only two things I had in my life that I cared for is now gone. So why would I change now? There ain't no point now. If I didn't change while they were here, I definitely don't want to change now that they're not here.
You ain't had no strength structure behind it either. Man, I was there too. It was
hard.
That was a rough time. So you went on, how long would you say you were out there? Just
waddling?
Yeah.
Oh, 2 years, 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Every day. I was showing up to work drunk. I was drinking at work. Working on people's cars. I ain't putting where I was working out there, but
yeah.
It was bad. Come home, drink myself to sleep, wake up, drink, go to work, drink, come home, drink. It was everyday cycle, every day, Monday through Sunday. There wasn't a single day that I at least didn't have a drink in my system.
And so you lost your daughter.
Yep.
She wouldn't even let you see her.
Nope. Switched up, moved. No address, no contact, no nothing. Changed her number. Got a restraining order on me to where, like, even if I wanted to show up to her grandma's house where I knew she would most likely be, couldn't, because I would be obviously in violation of a
protection order,
and I'd go to jail. So it was. She definitely built that brick wall fast.
But things got a little different.
Oh yeah.
You ran into somebody.
I did.
And I'm gonna let you go from here.
Yeah.
So what what started your course to first your support? Because in order for you to make any kind of change, you first got to have a support system.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't do it on your own, you have to have someone to support you.
Yeah.
So you're out there wilding in the street.
Yep.
And just doing you,
Mm-hmm.
doing JD with nothing to hold you back, and love comes through the door.
Oh yeah.
So talk a little bit about my princess.
Yeah, it was crazy. So who you're talking about obviously is Caitlin, Katie, the love of my life, my rock, the one that, other than family, mom, you, stuff like that, was my big support system. And it was crazy too, because like when we first met, we partied together. She was my drinking buddy. Like we had good times.
What was the first thing y'all drunk?
Huh?
What was the first
Twisted
thing y'all
tea.
drunk? Twisted tea. You know,
Yup.
Twisted Tea's known for knocking people out.
Twisted tea. So how we ended up meeting is I was friends with her older brother before I knew her. My buddy David hit me up and was like, "Hey man, I heard what happened, and I don't think you should be at home all by yourself. You know, Eddie's throwing a party. Why don't you come hang out? You know, get out of the house. Be around people that care about you." Oh, man, I don't really feel like it. A lot's been going on, dude. I think I'm just going to kick it at the house, get drunk with my dog. Nah, man, I'm going to come pick you up. All right, cool. So he came pick me up and went to my buddy's house, and we're sitting there, and Katie walks in. I look at my buddy Dave, and I'm like, dang, who's that? He was like, dude, that's Eddie's sister. I'm like, what? Ain't no way that's Eddie's sister. He's like, that's Eddie's sister. I was like, man, I'm going to try talking to her. He was like, dude, don't even try it. First, she ain't. You're out of her class. You get tattoos everywhere, and you're living a fast life out on the streets, doing crazy things. She's totally the opposite. She works at hospitals and college, and see what I'm saying? Like she, no offense towards her, but she don't need somebody like you in her life. And I basically shrugged him off and was like, "Watch this." Well, at the end of the night, I ended up getting her number. She goes to work the next day. I'm living at my Aunt Wendy's house, which is no longer here with us. I hit her up. I'm like, what are you doing tonight? Oh, I got to go to work. As soon as I get off of work, I'm going to go to the gym. No, I don't go to the gym. Come over, hang out. So she came over and hung out, drank Twisted Tea, had fun, drank Twisted Tea. She left. And I was like, I want to spend more time with her. It's just something felt different. Like just the conversations we had that night. She
has a heart, man.
Yeah,
You can
and
tell.
she
She's
showed
tender.
it. She showed it that night. Like, I know you have a problem, but I know you can beat it. You know, I was still trying to work it out with my ex while still talking to her, and any other normal woman would be like, you want to keep messing with her? Go. You know, I'm done. Not Katie. You know, Katie was like, look, I know you're going to get sick of this woman's stuff. And with that being said, the one that truly loves you and is here for you, I'll still be here for you. And she was. I finally got tired of the manipulation and I want to be with you. I don't want to be with you. I want you to see your daughter. I don't want you to see your daughter. To where I was like, I'm done with this. And guess who was there? You know, she was there to pick my head back up yet again.
Say, don't even worry, I got you.
Exactly. And then that's how I ended up meeting her. And the drinking never stopped. You know, she went. I put her through some stuff too, to where
So you guys ended up pregnant.
Yep. Fast.
And when she got pregnant, I remember you were living with your sister in her basement.
Yep.
And the situations there wasn't the best. So you guys had to get out of there because you didn't want her being pregnant in that situation.
Yep.
So where'd you guys go?
We went to Lawton, Oklahoma. We moved with her mom and her dad.
And that's when you first had the start building the relationship with them.
Yep. I never met her parents before until then. And it was already on a rough patch because, again, the life I was living.
Yeah, man, how'd you feel just showing up in that situation? Or did they come pick you guys up and take you guys?
Her mom came and picked us up.
Okay.
Yep,
so you got to drive down there with her and talk and get you prepared before you met Ed.
It was still nerve-wracking, though, because, I mean, this isn't good terms. You know, me as a parent, I want to meet my future son's woman or my daughter's future man on good terms.
Yeah.
Not, you have my daughter living in a basement while pregnant. You know what I mean? Like, it was one of them things to where it was like, it wasn't the greatest impression, but that's what I loved the most about her parents, is they were never judgmental.
Yeah.
You know, they were like, look, people go through hard times and you figured it out. And instead of continue to go through those hard times, you made that change.
Yeah.
And me being her mother, I'm here to help you. I had family here, but I burnt so many bridges with the problems that I had that my own family didn't even trust me. You know, I was stealing their liquor and pouring water in it to make the bottle look like it was as full as what it was. Like, I just burnt bridges. So I got to a point where it was like, my sister was the last resort, and that didn't work out. Where am I going to go? Yeah. So again, Deb was like, hey, you know, you can come with me. And we did. We went down there and boom, gave birth to Junebug. And
I was there.
Yep. And
took that drive real quick.
Yeah.
And that changed a little bit of you.
It did.
But the drinking kept going.
It did.
And you guys went from Lawton, Oklahoma, and you eventually traveled back with them back to their home state of origin, which was Michigan.
Yep.
You guys were living with Katie's grandma.
Yep.
And things continued, but at the same time, I remember them starting to get worse.
Yeah.
Even with my grandson there. What actually was the breaking point? Where was the point where that was it? This is the last draw. Talk about that moment.
So it was 4th of July.
Holiday.
Yeah. It was a big party. I mean, all her family was there. Aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, mom, dad, grandma. I mean, everybody that for somebody new coming into the family would be like, I have to be on my best behavior. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm a light switch. So it was like night started off good. And then that light switch flicked and it was like black. I don't remember anything. And I guess I tried getting on my father-in-law's motorcycle, which is a $52,000 panhead motorcycle, tricked out. I mean, it's nice show bike. Try to take off on it. Well, that ended up not happening. One, I didn't know how to start it because obviously I was too intoxicated, right? Yeah. Well, the big eye opener for me was I woke up the next morning, don't have no recollection of what went on. You know, Katie walks upstairs. Hey, you know, family's downstairs to have breakfast. I'm like, all right, awesome. I get up thinking that I had a good night just by the way she was waking me up. There was no like, look, like you messed up last night. There was none of that. It was, hey, hon, breakfast is ready downstairs. All right, cool. Well, I get up out of the bed and she was like, you know what you did last night? I'm like, no. Like, there was that deer in the headlights. Oh, my gosh, what did I done do? You know what I mean? Like, this is, everybody was here. All them people that I clowned in front of was downstairs for breakfast.
Man.
So now I had to go downstairs and face everybody that I done made a fool in front of, grandma, aunts, uncles, and all that. That was my eye-opener. Like I'm done. You know, Katie looked at me and said, look, I know what you went through with your dad, and I don't want Junebug to go through that. And I know you can be a great dad. I know you can. I've seen it. You know what I mean? You have to make a choice. It was no, you keep drinking, I'm leaving. You don't quit. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't like she was saying we're done if you don't do something. But I have faith in you that you can do this. What is your choice? I looked at her and said, I'm not going to lose another family. I'm not going to lose another kid. I'm not going to lose another woman. I'm finished. I'm done. Moved to Florida. Started drinking again. It was Father's Day. I thought, been clean for a year. I can do this. 1 beer. We're barbecuing. Got my son in his rocker. Got the in-laws. I mean, we're hanging out on the back screen patio of Florida. Beautiful trees. Everybody knows Florida. I want to have 1 drink. Vicious cycle. Back to it again every day. get into it again with the in-laws this time. This time it was directly the in-laws. I'm in Florida, 24 hours away from anybody and everybody I know. I have nowhere to go. I have no money. I work at a car wash for minimum wage. I make more off of tips than I do hourly on my check. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
That was my rock bottom right there. Was like, I have nothing. Like, what have I done with my life? I literally have nothing. You know, I have a woman that loves me. I got a son that he loves me, but he's too young to even know. You see what I'm saying? One. Right.
Yeah.
We had his first birthday in Florida. He was 1 year old. So it's not like, oh, dad's an alcoholic. But still, I got my son that loves me, but I have nothing. I'm jumping couch to couch. I got this, I call it a high school job. You know, I'm wasting all my money on alcohol instead of trying to save up money and get me and my woman and my son a house, whether it's in Florida, Oklahoma, Michigan, Kansas, it doesn't matter. Moral of it is, I'm blowing my money on stuff that's irrelevant. Nothing that's going to do anything positive for me. And got into it with her. Got kicked out. I don't know where I'm going to go. Luckily, my mom in Kansas City
Yeah, but you even slept didn't you sleep out on the beach?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I slept out on the beach. Called my mom, hey, look, you know, I ain't got nowhere to go. Spent last night on the beach. What am I going to do? I'll put you up in a hotel room. So she put me up in a hotel room for a couple days. That's when I quit drinking. And I haven't drank since.
Man, that's deep.
That's deep.
You went from, that's deep. So, with all that being said, how you feel?
I feel great.
You can breathe easy.
I do.
Your head is clear.
Yeah. You know, I
no
think it's more
memories.
Influential.
Yeah.
To not only prove to the people that thought I couldn't do it, but for me.
Yeah.
I know I could do it.
It's always about you. That's
exactly.
That's when it's to the heart. That's when you take it to heart.
100%. I know I did it.
I love this story. People need to hear stories like this. You recently went to Mexico.
Oh yeah. Great time.
I got to talk about this point because this is a test.
Yeah.
And on our way, so me and your mom, to the viewers out there, me and his mom went down to Florida not this past year. Was it?
Florida.
I mean, Mexico. We went to Mexico.
Last May.
Not May. September, but it wasn't this past September. It was the September before that.
Yep.
Dang it.
I know, 2 years.
Man.
It's been too long. I'm missing them tacos and all that.
It seemed like it was just this past September, but we went down there and we got remarried. We remarried for our 10th year anniversary because when we first got married, we actually went to this same place for our honeymoon. So we promised ourselves that moment we were there that on our 10th year anniversary, we would renew our vows there on the beach overlooking the ocean. And we did. Now, this is an all-inclusive, adults-only resort. What do you think they have there? The number one drink on the menu is alcohol. Alcohol. I mean, alcohol. And me and your mom talked about it. Like, I wonder how's he going to do there? Because everyone else is going to be getting plastered. And I think you did pretty freaking well.
Yep.
This guy did so well, he ordered a pretty expensive bottle. How much was the bottle?
About 180, 170-ish.
Yeah, it's a pretty expensive bottle. Azul, which comes with a ding.
Oh yeah, gotta ring the bell.
A ringer on it, and it's also a shot. So this kid sits on the side of the pool after purchasing this almost $200 bottle of alcohol and starts passing shots out to everybody. He shoots the whole bottle just because he wanted the actual bottle, but to go to a place like that where all the alcohol's around, and I mean, no one's drinking pop.
No
one's drinking water. Mm-mm. Everyone's drinking tequila and everything else. How'd you feel?
I mean, it was hard.
Yeah.
Just because, I still sit back as an adult, almost 30 years old. and I wouldn't say wish, but wonder why I can't have the self-control as everybody else and be able to limit myself. So again, it's alcohol. It's everywhere. You go into Chuck E. Cheese now and you can get alcohol, so it's in your face no matter where you go. So the aspect of it being there wasn't the hard part. It was more or less like, look at everybody having fun. Why can't I do that? Not that I'm not having fun. I'm in Mexico experiencing something that I ain't never experienced in my life. The hospitality of the people that were there. I mean, it was amazing. So, again, I felt good.
But it was just that.
It was that test.
I'm missing.
Yeah.
And
right.
And in reality, you really weren't missing.
No, most definitely.
You were missing the memories.
That's it.
Of being able to do it. But,
yeah.
I mean, the consequences behind those memories.
Wasn't worth it.
So. And speaking of, I know you have rough times.
Oh, yeah.
Rough periods. Periods where, man, it can get the best of you.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember Princess telling me one time at the house, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, I always use alcohol as a crutch. So no matter, it was a good day at work, I'm going to have a drink. It was a bad day at work, I'm going to have a drink. Got an argument with my pops, I'm going to have a drink. Got an argument with my woman, I'm going to have a drink. So like you said, the battle of sobriety is an everyday battle. People will sit here still to this day and be like, do you think you'll ever drink again? I can't say no because that's setting myself up to be a liar because I'm not a liar. But as of right now, today, I don't plan on drinking. So that's when I say I always live it day to day.
Yes.
So I can be having a good mood right now and something happen to where I would think I'm strong enough to say no, but you never know. So
it might be that break, but boy, you 6 years in, boy.
Yeah,
it gets hard. I remember at your apartment, man. You kind of had
it was a breakdown. It really was. And,
out of the blue, no reason at all.
No reason, none.
Man,
it's like right now.
Well, so what happened though?
I honestly don't even remember. Like I said, it.
And that's a good thing because if it don't remember, then that means it's a moment that came and went.
Yes, exactly. It's
struggles, man.
It is. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's easy. Like my woman still currently to this day drinks. You drink, not every day. Mom drinks, obviously not every day, but it's there. I can go home right now, tonight, literally, and there's Captain Morgan on the freezer. There's Twisted Tea in the refrigerators. There's Smirnoff and stuff like that.
You can handle that,
but I don't want it.
Yeah.
I'm to the point of sobriety that, hey, hon, can you go make me a drink? And I'll smell the bottle because it's a new liquor. What does that smell like?
You do it all the time.
I keep it in my face. I have to.
Let me smell it. Let me smell it.
And that's me
it's a good
fighting
practice.
the urge.
Yeah.
Because you can never erase it. Alcohol is going nowhere.
Yeah.
So the harder you try to tell yourself, oh, it was the alcohol, it was me.
It's a choice.
Exactly.
You have a choice.
Yep.
And a lot of things people don't understand. People say, well, I need Nicoderm patches to stop smoking cigarettes. I need this. I need pills. I need that.
I'm 3 days off cigarettes.
Yeah. The all actuality and all of it is if you make a choice, you can stop.
Yep.
If you make the choice. Now, does that choice mean that you won't go through battles?
Right.
Does that choice mean that you won't go through tremendous urges that possibly might give you the shivers or might even shut your body down?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. But that's the fight. That's the journey that you have to go on to get over it and get through it. Those are waves. Those are storms. Yep. And a lot of people don't understand this. A lot of people think, and I'm not saying this in any way to take away from the programs out there that they have for alcoholics.
Yeah.
But when you make those programs just help you get to a point where you make the decision.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
You are the one who's going to get you through whatever you want because you're going to decide.
Yeah.
And every day, like you said, I make the decision.
Yep.
It's not a one-time decision. This is an ongoing process. This is an ongoing decision until the day, if there is a day, to where you decide that you no longer want to stop.
Right.
That is a decision that you make.
Mm-hmm.
But my next question is, how, when you go through these urges, when you experience that rush of anxiety,
right.
What do you do to get over it? What do you do to get through it? Because people out there are going through these urges, and maybe they want to stop, but maybe they don't understand that by doing it a different way than what they're doing, it might be able to help them. So what do you do to get yourself past that when it swarms up on you?
Yeah. Well, my number one is I look at who I was. And again, at the beginning of this, I told you guys it changed who I was. And again, anybody that knows me knows I'm not that person. Mm-hmm. So I don't want that person to come back. So that's one of the big things is I know who I am and I don't need it. And the other big thing that helps me get through, like you said, man, I feel like this is an excuse for me. It's bad. And whatever the circumstance may be, I'm drinking. Mm-hmm. What helps me not is family, my son, my woman, my pops, my mom, my sisters, my nephews, stuff like that. Because without them, I don't think I'd still be sober to this day.
You wouldn't have a reason.
You don't ask me, hey, son, come take a shot with me. At the beginning.
When I do,
it's a shot of Monster, right? Or Red Bull or Monster. Right. But that's my point.
And that's my way of not leaving you out. Because
you guys respect me. Yes. You respect the decision that I make.
Well, I mean, you should be respecting anyone.
Oh, for sure.
Some people will pressure y'all. Come on, you little wuss.
Oh, I got family. A drink. I got friends that still do that to this day. Like, I've known these people the whole sobriety, and I'll show up and they'll try to pass me a bottle, and I'll take it and pass it to the person sitting next to me, and they look at me like, you pass up. Dude, don't drink. How long have you known me?
Man.
Right. But
come on, man.
That's me being strong. Yeah. It is what it is. But those two things, for me, I don't know about anybody else out there. And if anybody, not if, for the other people that's out there, that's find what you truly love. Because at the end of the day, if you truly love that thing, nothing in this world
it's gonna make it just get it destroyed.
You see what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be like, oh, I love my son, I'm gonna go drink. No. If you truly love your son, and that bottle is what's causing you not to be at your fullest, whether it's a dad, a fiance, a worker, an athlete, whatever, let it go. Nothing in this world is worth your life, nor your sanity, or your health. So you can have all the money in the world, and if your health ain't there, that money ain't gonna do nothing for you.
So since you've been sober, you've taken on a position in the family.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
The designated driver.
Yes.
And I love it because
you've saved a lot of lives.
That's what I was going to say. Personally, within me, I know everybody that I'm with is now safe.
Yes.
There ain't no, I got to call an Uber, or, I got in a car with my friend and now I got to lay somebody I love to rest because, I couldn't drive you home because I was also drunk myself.
Yeah.
Never again. Everybody that I'm around, hey, it could be a stranger. Look, man, give me your keys. I'll take you home. It ain't worth it. And that's just who I am. Again, that's the sober me.
So have you had any friends that you've tried to,
help get sober?
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of them, I don't know. Under the influence, it's that liquid courage.
You gotta want it.
Yeah, they'll sit there and they'll be intoxicated and all these emotions are going in their head. And, I always say alcohol goes in stages. You start drinking, you're having fun, then you get talkative. Some people get aggressive. Some people get sloppy drunk. At least I was. I had stages.
You were more of a happy drunk, though.
And
you didn't really Yeah,
Again, they talk a big talk, and then they sober up, and they don't remember the conversation we had about what you should do to help change your life. I said, help. I don't want to force you to do something. You know what I mean? Right. So I can just preach to you off of the experiences I've been through. And again, I've only been sober coming on 6 years, so I'm not preaching. There's people out there that's been sober 30, 40, and I bow to them. Because, you know, today I sit here and I want to be that. I want to look at my son's kids and be like, I don't want it. Not saying you don't have to, but just learn from me. You know, you do not have to have a substance of any sort, whether it's drugs, alcohol, whatever. If
it does you harm.
To have fun.
Yeah.
You know, you can enjoy life.
You definitely don't need it, man.
You know, I saved a chick at Lake Perry.
You want to talk about that? Because, dude, I remember that, dude. That was
we're
crazy.
We're sitting on the back of our boat fishing, and I hear somebody yelling, and I think, they're getting, out of the bar. A lady and a man's getting in an argument, and me being me, I'm going to protect this woman. I don't care what. If I see something I ain't supposed to see, there's going to be somebody getting hurt or me getting hurt, whatever. I mean, I'm going to intervene. And, I'm looking at my brother-in-law, and I'm like, I thought I just heard somebody say, help. And I look across the way, and there's gas pumps, and there's a speedboat across the way. And I see splashing. So my instinct was to run. I don't know what I'm running into. I don't know if there's somebody over there that pushed this woman in the water, or I don't know. All I know is I heard a call of distress. So I took off. I get over there, and she's in the water. No life jacket on, no nothing. Like,
drunk off her rocker.
Probably woke up the next morning and doesn't even realize what really took place that night. But I got to her just in time. She was going under. And I grabbed her by her hand, and, I held her up. She was a bigger woman. I mean, she wasn't fat, don't get me wrong, but I'm a little guy to try to pull somebody out of...
That was a deep pull.
In a pool, dead weight, because she's intoxicated. There's no ladders.
You kind of held her up to where she could get
your
her
strength.
Breath.
Yep, get your strength, because you're going to have to help me get you out of this situation. I'm here. I ain't going to let you.
She would have died that night.
She would have, 100%.
If you weren't there, she would have died. Because nobody was
it was
around.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
People just got out of the bar, probably 1:32, got on their boats, went back to their dock or wherever they went. And this woman, after everything was said and done, because I finally got her to the corner of the boat dock, and where you tie your boat off, I just put my heels up against it, and she leaned into me, and I leaned back, and she rolled up on the dock, and she was out of breath because she was fighting. She was scared. I mean, the alcohol probably did a lot.
You ran. She had to be. So Adam basically said, you can hear her say, help, and then she would go under.
Yep, gurgle.
And then she come back up, help, and back. And so we're on Sea Dock out there.
Yeah.
You literally had to run. Man, that had to be 200, 300 feet.
Easy.
And then go all the way across another 100, 150 feet. Then you have to run another 200 feet just to get to the dock to get her out. And now you got to use the rest of your strength and air to try to pick this heavier, Amazonian woman out of the water.
Yeah.
But you did it.
I did it.
Under instinct.
Yeah.
And if you were drunk that night, you wouldn't have been able to do it.
I wouldn't have.
So
somebody would have died.
I'm just saying. This was a good interview.
It was.
It really was, and I hope it helps someone out there. But before we go, I got one more question. What message can you leave us with that might help someone out there that may want to stop drinking but can't seem to make the commitment?
Find it in you. Again, I've said in the podcast, find something that you love. You have to love yourself. You have to want to quit yourself. I was told once, if you can't admit you have a problem, there is no help.
Yeah.
So if I can leave a message here to help anybody out there that's deciding they want to quit but don't know how, quit for yourself and everything else will fall in place. The ones that love you will see that you're trying to help yourself, and they'll start helping along the way too.
That's what's up, man. That's a good message. That's definitely a good message to leave somebody out there who might need the help. And if you want help or want change and you know you can't do it on your own, you can always reach out to somebody else and just tell them, I need help. If you need help outside of that and no one around you can seem to help you and you have to go to an outside source, someone who may not know you or someone who may have resources that might be able to help you, hit me up. You can go to chuckdoyle.com and leave a statement, leave a message. How can someone who might need that help reach out to you and get that same help?
I have Facebook, James Christmas.
Danny Christmas on Facebook.
I got my cell phone. Yep.
So
I'm always open.
But you have to know you have a problem first.
Yes.
And you have to be able to admit that you are willing to change. You have to want to change first. Once you get that in you, you might not be able to do it on your own. A lot of people can't do it on their own because they're already too weak.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you can't do it, because you can. You got to want to do it. Get the help you need and watch your life change. It'll get better. It definitely will. Thanks, son, for coming on the show. Very touching. This was a good one. And I appreciate you
of course
sharing your journey and your story and dropping some jewels today. Thank you all for joining us for another episode of the First Cup KC. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. And as always, stay positive, people.